I woke up one morning to the kind of silence that makes your skin crawl, the kind that tells you something is wrong before your brain catches up. My front doorknob wouldn't turn. Not even a little. For a split second, I thought I'd lost my mind, maybe forgot how to open my own door, but no. The truth hit me harder than a punch in the gut. Someone had changed the lock. While I was asleep inside my own house, someone decided I didn't deserve access to it. And of course, it wasn't just someone, it was Karen. Karen, queen of our HOA. The kind of person who thinks power means sending out 3-page notices about grass length and mailbox design. She'd been circling me for months, complaining about shutters, whining about my mailbox, even saying the grass in my yard was too green. But this was different. She had effectively locked me in my own house. It felt like a hostage situation created by nothing more than brass arrogance and one woman drunk on authority. I sat on the stairs with my coffee staring at the useless knob. I wasn't panicked. I wasn't calling the cops in tears. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. This was her opening move, and already I was planning her checkmate. She wanted control. I would show her control. So I called a locksmith, but I didn't ask him to change the lock back. I asked him for a steel industrial-grade security door, something Karen couldn't touch with her HOA-issued keys. The guy thought I was joking at first, but when he realized I was dead serious, he went to work. By the end of the day, I had Fort Knox bolted onto the front of my house. Triple locks, deadbolts, reinforced hinges. Every sound of that drill, every clang of steel, it felt like hammering nails into the coffin of Karen's little empire. By the afternoon, my home wasn't just secure, it was untouchable. That evening, right on cue, there came the furious rattling of my new door. The knob twisted again and again, followed by Karen's voice shrieking, "Why doesn't my key work? This is an HOA violation." She pounded, screamed, tried to shame me from the porch. I leaned against the wall inside, sipping my coffee, letting her tantrum echo off my steel fortress. She thought she could lock me out, but she was the one locked out of power. The battle only got uglier from there. At the next HOA meeting, Karen sat at the head of the table like some plastic-throned queen eyes shining as she called me out. This homeowner installed an unauthorized bunker door. It blocks emergency access. It's unsightly. She jabbed her finger at me like I was on trial. The whole room turned, waiting to see if I'd crack. I didn't. I let her rant, then leaned forward. "Karen, are you admitting on record that the HOA thinks it has unrestricted access to people's homes?" Her mouth snapped open, then shut, then open again. "Of course, in emergencies," she snapped. I raised my phone slowly. Because last week, while I was inside my house, someone changed my lock without permission. That was a safety hazard. That was a crime. Should I call the police right now and clear this up? The room went dead silent. You could hear the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Karen's face turned crimson. She sputtered something about community harmony, but the board members weren't buying it anymore. I pulled out copies of state statutes, slid them across the table. My steel door was legal, my rights were clear, and her petty theatrics had just backfired in front of everyone. But Karen didn't stop. She doubled down like always. A week later, she showed up at my driveway with an inspection team, 3 board members, and 2 volunteers, all looking like they'd been dragged into a raid. "We're conducting an authorized HOA inspection," she announced, smug as hell. "We need to take interior photos." I just smiled, thumb hovering over my phone app, the steel lock clicking shut with a sound that echoed like a gunshot. "Step 1 foot on my porch," I told her, "and I'll call the police for trespassing. And just so you know, the cameras are recording every second." Some of her entourage backed away instantly, muttering excuses. Within minutes, her little army had crumbled. She stood there seething, hissing. This isn't over. She kept coming, fines taped to my Door County fire inspectors called to investigate my bunker door, even dragging the police into it. And every single time, she lost. The fire inspectors took one look and said my door was safer than half the homes in the neighborhood. The cop she dragged to my house flipped through my folder of evidence and told her to tread carefully, because she was the one breaking laws, not me. Still, as much as I enjoyed watching her fail, I'd be lying if I said it didn't wear me down. There were nights I sat alone in my living room staring at that steel door, wondering if it was worth it. Was I crazy to stay here? Was I just fueling this endless war? Selling the house crossed my mind more than once. Walking away, leaving Karen to her crumbling little kingdom, but then I'd remember her screaming at my steel door veins, bulging powerless. I'd remember the neighbors starting to send me their own videos of her antics, laughing, rooting for me. That gave me my answer. No, I wasn't moving. I wasn't running. She was. And then came the night everything boiled over. A Thursday evening, quiet and heavy, the kind of night where you can feel something building. The pounding on my steel door was different this time, harder, angrier. I checked the camera feed and nearly dropped my phone laughing. There she was, Karen, on my porch, with a crowbar. Yes, a crowbar. Middle-aged yoga pants, sweat dripping, trying to pry open a reinforced steel door like some cartoon burglar. And she wasn't alone. 2 of her loyal followers hovered behind her, pale and uneasy, clearly regretting every second. Karen barked orders at them, grunting, swinging the crowbar, yelling, "You can't keep me out." This is my neighborhood. I didn't rush. I pressed record on my camera feed, called the police voice calm as if I were ordering takeout. Yes, I have 3 individuals attempting to break into my home with a crowbar. Yes, I have live video. Then I poured myself a fresh cup of coffee and waited. Neighbors started gathering phones out, filming, whispering. Karen was too far gone to notice. She ranted, cursed sweat pouring down her face as if sheer willpower could bend steel. Then, sirens. 2 patrol cars screeched into the cul-de-sac, red and blue lights splashing across manicured lawns. Officers jumped out, guns holstered, but voices sharp. Step away from the door. Drop the crowbar. Karen froze, wild-eyed, crowbar clutched in her hands. For a terrifying moment, I thought she might actually swing at them. Instead, she dropped it with a metallic clang. "This isn't what it looks like," she cried. "I'm the HOA president. I have authority." The officers weren't impressed. They separated her from her cronies, questioned each of them, then turned to me. I opened my steel door at last, stepping out calmly with my coffee, showing them the live footage. The video didn't lie. Karen ordering her friends, trying to force her way in. The officer's face hardened. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for attempted burglary, destruction of property, and trespassing." Karen's jaw dropped. She staggered back, shrieking, "Burglary." "No, he's the criminal. He locked me out of my own neighborhood." The cuffs snapped around her wrists anyway. Her followers tried to plead ignorance, swearing they'd only come because she insisted, but the damage was done. Karen was led to the squad car, sobbing, ranting. "This isn't over. I'll sue. I'll have your badges." Her voice cracked into incoherent screams as the door slammed shut behind her. The neighbors gathered in a wide semicircle erupted. Some laughed openly, others just shook their heads, phones raised high to catch every second. Karen, the self-appointed queen of the HOA, was now the viral star of her own downfall, arrested on camera, dragged off in handcuffs for trying to crowbar into her neighbor's house. Within a week, the board announced an emergency meeting. Karen was outstripped of her title, facing charges, her reputation scorched beyond repair. Her little empire had collapsed, not because I fought harder, not because I shouted louder, but because I stayed steady. I stayed calm. And I let her destroy herself. The steel door still stands solid and unyielding, a monument to patience. Karen threw everything at it, fines, inspections, police, even a crowbar, and it never budged. Neither did I. And if there's one thing I learned through it all, it's this: real power isn't control, it's patience.